We're going to talk about 3 of the steps very briefly because I don't want to make this a real long presentation. Again, I think this is truly the cornerstone, really, of creating your passionate picture. And there's a couple things that I think we can do. And again, let me just by a show of hands. How many people here have ever had like such a burning desire to do something? Whether it's a relationship or a trip or buying a car or whatever. You get that real intense, passion, this burning desire for something. This is what we want to try to do, and we want to try to apply this to all your life areas. I mean, for me, my story, when I was a kid, I was 8 years old, and my family pastor, actually, who also taught me how to make the perfect martini at 8 years old. My family, Catholic pastor, what do you expect? But not only that, but he gave me a hardcover sunset book on California. And I was living in dark, dreary Detroit. And this book just had all kinds of descriptions of California. It had pictures of mountains and all these beautiful people and the oceans and all that. And at 8 years old, I knew that I really wanted to live in California. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I wanted to make that a goal. I swear to God, through my teen years, which were a little rough, a little rocky, I wasn't the perfect teenager, but it finally stayed in my brain so far that after 2 years, my first 2 years of college, I think I was burned out on doing drugs and getting C's or C minuses. I went with my buddy to California, and we went from San Diego up to San Francisco for 3 weeks, and it was a trip that absolutely changed my life. And it really reignited this passion in me. And my second 2 years in college, I quit the public university I went to. I went to a private school in Detroit and graduated summa cum laude, and got a job with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and within 2 years I was living in San Diego. So again, this all incubated, it all started with this passion of somebody giving me this book when I was 8 years old and just carrying it through you. And this is really what we want everybody else to experience. You all experienced it, but trying to get that passion and trying to use that again to turbocharge some of your goals and ambitions is really the way to go. One of the things that I love doing is designing a dream paragraph and a dream letter, and I'll talk a little bit about both briefly. Dream paragraph. Sit down with somebody you love, sit down by yourself, with your partner, whatever, over a glass of wine, and think about, no holds barred, it's the old thing, if you had $100 million in the bank, what would your life be like? Really write it down in a paragraph. You can have a lot of fun with this, and I've done this many times myself, getting crazy, it's like, do you want to fly to Paris? Do you want to fly to Paris first class? Do you want to fly to Paris in a private jet? Just put it out there on a piece of paper and really sort of feel the pleasure that you have with that and feel the passion of what really ignites, what works for you in that dream paragraph. Design your life, because that's what we all have to do. There's nothing more powerful and there's nothing more important than the power of now, which is so key, because it is now that you can make your changes that you can in your life. The letter I love a lot. I've done this like 3 or 4 years in a row. I actually write a letter to myself on New Year's Day, and I mail it to myself. And this letter basically says, what is my life going to be like at the end of this year? I've done this many times, and when I get the letter in the mail, I actually put it in my drawer, and I look at it on New Year's Eve. And it's amazing, people, if you put your words and your ideas and your thoughts on paper, it is amazing what will happen. And you'll just see this letter a year later, and a lot of this stuff will be coming true. So again, my whole thing and a lot of my affirmations really are about conscious living. I'm trying so hard with conscious eating, that's for sure. But conscious living, and really figuring out what it is you want in terms of all your life areas. What do you want your life to look like? And the biggest problem that I think that a lot of us here, and myself included, is that we're all running 100 miles an hour, and we're working in our lives, we're not working on our lives. So that's so key, to work on your life, not to work in your life. Even if it's only 20, 15 minutes a week, to think about, what do you want your life to be like?